the thing is, our kids got up early. They have a big celebration at school.
Okay.
They got dressed up, and then they were invited to be in the St. Patrick's Day parade. So if you don't know, Montana is very celebratory up here. We live in Kalispell, Montana, which is near Glacier Park. And so they were invited by a local that has a fire truck, and they'll be on the fire truck handing out candy. And we'll be walking the boulevard. Last year, there was probably 300 people on the boulevard for St. Patty's Day.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's like Huntington Beach for 4th of July. I feel like same sort of vibe. And last year, yeah, similarly, my kids were on like a fire truck and involved in the whole festivities. But for St. Patrick's Day, I think I'm just going to do some corned beef and cabbage and I don't know, their cereal milk green or something.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. But you know what's cool is that when these businesses rally and put together events, they're really thinking about how to drive extra business through the day. They open up a little bit early. If you're a business that opens at 3 or 4, maybe you open up at noon and just utilize the holiday and the crowds that are down there. Or in our case, Sleepy Town, people close at 5. So now they have a chance to make more money and stay open later, offer specials for the, for the holiday and stuff like that. So I love watching businesses take advantage of, holiday and what's happening around them. So anyways, besides that, you asked me what I was doing. I have a big call with David Meltzer at 30 today.
Yeah. And I'm laughing because I thought we were all going to go live together this morning. So I don't know what happened. Yeah. We're going to have to back and do that again another time, I guess.
I think David was traveling from Mexico City today because he had given me a pretty firm, this is what time we're going to talk today. And Dave and I are going to talk about the Yes Syndicate. As you know, Rachel, as my partner, the youth is so important to us, and what we want to do for young adults, in the Yes Syndicate. So I want to talk to Dave and about his network about that.
Yeah, let's tell everybody that doesn't know. I mean, if they're following us on social media, they probably know what we're doing with the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate, but we should just remind everybody. I mean, we've been doing this for a year now. I can't believe it's been a year. I mean, entrepreneurs that I know forever have been saying, oh, it's hard to be an entrepreneur. There's no playbook for being an entrepreneur. Nobody taught me in school how to be an entrepreneur. I feel very isolated and alone. Like there's nobody else is going through this like I am, right? So we started Yes, to teach students, the skills, right?
Yep.
To create a community for business leaders or up-and-coming entrepreneurs or existing entrepreneurs that felt like they wanted to connect with like-minded people. I feel like there's a lot of organizations for networking, but this is more than that. This is like-minded people who are really genuinely care about helping and supporting each other. Add to that. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, and by the way, I saw that Red Suit Realtor hopped on, Brian Robbins hopped on. Rachel, I'm going to New Jersey at the end of the month. There's a wonderful event called The Event New Jersey, and I'm going to be an attendee there. I'm going to be at the VIP parties, and we're going to do a little coffee meetup. And my goal is to get to know these other leaders that have groups for, older adult entrepreneurs. I want their kids, those kids, to join our group because that
of leaders, the students that are coming through, they're building the next iteration of businesses, right? That are going to innovate and take, where we've gone to the next level.
Yeah. And the reason why this started, as you might remember, we had a lot of hopelessness coming out of COVID, a lot of people lacking direction, what they were going to do, where they were going to go. And here in Montana, we had one of the highest suicide rates in the country. So we just felt like it was time to pull something together. And I was so glad that you saw that vision of helping from a marketing perspective. So, what's really cool is the ability to collaborate. And I think we've seen that in our group already. People collaborating, our community members, we call them a community in the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate, collaborating and working together to grow their own business and what they're doing.
Hey, wait, this event that you're going to in New Jersey, is this the one with the amazing Mike Fallett from Dreamstarter Publishing?
Yeah, actually, Mike published my book last year, helped me create an Amazon bestseller. Matter of fact, there's a few people at the event that also have books. Red Suit Realtor had a bestseller, and I know that you're working with them on something.
Yes, I am. I'm like so elated about it. And bucket list item for me has always been to write a book. And I talked to Mike, I don't know, like 2 years ago, and I just wasn't ready. And it took me all this time to start writing and to figure out what I wanted to write about. And then I was like, well, people write about what they know, right? Well, I know about being a single working mother. I know about being a female entrepreneur. I'm trying to, forge the path ahead for other future leaders, right? This all aligns with my values, right? So that's what we're writing this book about. And I am really excited. I'm telling amazing backstories. I'm also giving a lot of free advice on the marketing space. It feels good. So hopefully later this year, I don't want to like jinx it and say the date, but it's coming soon. And I want to give everybody like in the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate a copy for sure.
Yeah.
Our members right now, they're getting access to this private social media platform with Jadari, right, that we've been working with. They have access to us weekly. They get a document library. They get group coaching. They get a video library, book recommendations, the power of community, and I want to give them my book. I want to give them that.
Well, and by the way, what's great about writing a book, I interviewed Red Suit Realtor yesterday for my podcast. That'll air out next week on The Answer is Yes. But, he was talking about, he carries his book with him everywhere. That is his business card now. And the thing is, if you're in business for yourself, the ability to have a book and hand that out as your business card, there's no greater tool because you have the ability, like you just mentioned, single mom, you own your own business. When people read about that, the respect that they give you, knowing your personal story and their willingness and desire to work with you is elevated 10x because they have a connection now with you. So writing a book, like Red Suit said, he was, that book has paid 1,000x back to him because of his true identity in there. And, people are like, oh, well, now everybody's going to know your deep, dark secrets, But the reality is people want to know who you are and they want to connect with you. So I think writing a book is a wonderful outlet. It's a great business card. However many pages, mine's a 160-page business card, but it works well. I'm really proud of you for taking that on.
Well, I loved I loved watching you go through the process of writing the book and then having the honor of helping you market the book. And, with the Sunday Brunch Agency, with my primary business that I started, back in 2016, we were a virtual agency before it was a trending topic, right, to be a virtual agency. So, but I love that. We've worked together, since I think even before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just really great to see all of like your skills and expertise, and like you've got amazing stories in that book. And bringing all of that to as many people as we can. So, and I love buying the books. You customize the books. You write personal notes to people. I think that takes it to the next level too. You're not just handing it over. You really care about the people you're giving it to when you have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I learned something from Arnold Palmer when I was working with him. He's passed since, but he taught me, he goes, if somebody asks you for your autograph, right, that means they're giving you the respect for that. The least you could do is give them the respect and write an autograph that you can actually read. That you can actually tell who wrote it, right? These celebrity athletes, they autograph stuff. You're like, what is that chicken scratch? And Arnold Palmer, if you look at anything he's ever autographed, you can tell it says Arnold Palmer. And I took that seriously when I was racing cars and signing, posters of the race truck. But when I came out with my book, if somebody's going to ask me for my book or they're going to buy a copy, I'm going to write them a note, and I'm going to sign it with a thank you, a genuine thank you. And I usually put the date on it. And I think those are easy ways that we can show our appreciation to people, day in and day out, by just respecting the small things, and that might seem like something small, like, oh, can you sign the book? yeah, I can, but I'm going to make sure I say something nice and you can read it, you know. And but by the way, you touched on your agency for a minute there. I just want to say what a great opportunity for you and a blessing that you've been to the marketplace. Yeah, we worked together before you were a big agency. You know, you were a player amongst others. And then when you launched your agency, I could just tell that you were all in. And I think those years of hard work, being all in, those 12-hour days that you're putting in, because I know the work content that you gave me early on, and there was no way you did that in a small day, right, with all your other clients. And when I look back at that and where you're at now, that hard work has paid off. And I think that's a good message for people that are just curious, you know, how do you succeed? How do you win in this game? You know, and people would say marketing agencies, that's a really crowded market. But you found a niche, you found success, you have a wonderful team which keeps growing. I'm blown away by that. And, you know, when you really think about it, it's because your hard work, your willingness to deliver above and beyond. And, you know, I'm not saying this just to blow smoke your way and make you feel good this morning on a Friday. I'm saying it because I'm hoping that anybody that's listening understands that these things don't pop up overnight. You know, like you said, you started in 2017. Here we are 6 years later, maybe a little bit more, give or take, and you have success, but it didn't come easy. So I'm just curious, what's been some of your biggest hurdles as owning your own agency and trying to succeed?
All right, so thank you for putting me on the hot seat on this, because because, you know, starting my own agency as a single mom was scary, because all of a sudden you're making this jump and you're betting on yourself, right? And you're like, well, you know, what if it doesn't work? You know, there's no backup plan here. You know, I've got to make this thing work. So yeah, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of going above and beyond. The trick for me was, I'm totally confident betting on myself now, but I really genuinely cared about the clients I was working on. So it didn't feel like work. It felt like a hobby that I got paid for, because I really wanted those companies and those people to succeed. And then when they did well, then my business did well. So, you know, we grew together. And over the years, we've added the right people to our team. And I've taken steps that were important. Like, we got certified as a woman-owned business, you know, so, you know, that was a big step. You know, we submitted for awards, like small business awards, and, you know, kind of got that third-party recognition to help validate our position. You know, I grew up in the advertising industry, working at Saatchi & Saatchi on Toyota and Los Angeles World Airports, and, you know, big banks and, you know, big airlines. And it was like, this was my opportunity to work with independently owned businesses that I could get to know the owner, I could get to know their people, and, like, you know, be an extension of their family and their team. And so that has been kind of the secret sauce. And we do everything from, you know, logos and branding and websites to social media, content creation, emails. You know, it's really, because every small business that we work with, they need something different at a different point in their journey. So, you know, I feel like some agencies, they try to kind of latch onto you and you feel like you're locked in with them forever. Well, with us, it's like, I'm happy to almost put you through whatever you need to get through, and then you graduate. It's like, congratulations, you've graduated to the next level. I could train your marketing person in-house, or let you go off, and then we're always here for you if you come back later and you like, hey, we've grown and we need something new. So those ongoing relationships have been really important to the success of Sunday Brunch. And, you know, that then led to the creation of, you know, the Lynx Bourbon, and then it's led to the creation of Yes. And, you know, so other businesses are, you know, growing out of this. And I love being a multipreneur. I feel like that's been great.
Well, you know what's cool about that too, by the way, I see DC Shock Services on, Riley Kuntz is on, Papa D's on, all these great people. You know, and by the way, some of them are small businesses. DC Shock, small business out of San Dimas area, working on race cars. You know, watch those guys go from small business startup, not knowing where they're gonna, you know, get their next job, to getting big jobs with the major manufacturers. And, you know, then I'm trying to get slitted to get my work because of their success. And the thing that you have in common and they have in common with you is that, you know, you're not afraid to put in the hours and do the hard work. and get the job done and deliver something of quality, you know? And I think that there's a lot to be said for that. People are always looking for that secret sauce of how do I win? How do I succeed? It's not that hard, folks. You know, it's just a matter of putting in a good day's work, giving a good product, and standing behind your work, whatever that work is. There's no secret sauce, you know, it's just be there for people and deliver.
Yeah, well, and I feel like our message and what we're saying, I mean, we are amongst a lot of great thinkers who say these things. Like I'm reading right now, I'm reading Winning by Tim Grover. Yeah, I know you're a big reader too, you know, like I love the Robert Greene books. I've read, you know, all of those. You know, and I think that helps. It makes you feel like, okay, yeah, like I'm not the only person that's gone through this, or, you know, like, all right, this is what they did. How do I put my own personal spin on this? Or how do I make this better? How do I make this work for somebody like me? You know, and as a woman entrepreneur, like there's a lot of great men who've been there before me. And growing up, I was always looking for female mentors or examples that I could look to them and be like, oh, well, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
So I want part of what I'm creating and the legacy that I'm creating. And by the way, when you talk about book signing, when I met Robert Greene on the airplane on the way back from the Arete conference, which was a huge like moment for me because I love his work. We later like met up for coffee, and he personally wrote a message and signed every book in the exact way that you're mentioning. I mean, this is a you know, global renowned, you know, author who's written like a ton of life-changing books, and here he is taking the time to write a message on each one. And I was like, wow, like that's amazing. Like, he's very humble and service mentality. And well, I think
which is
live that.
Why he's had success. He's not afraid to take the time out for his audience or his fans or his supporters. I'm so envious too, because when I was at Kettle One as the vice president of marketing there, that book sat on my desk, and every single person walked in is like, oh, what's that book? I'm like, nah, you can't read it, it's a secret, because it was all about 48 laws of power, you know, how you achieve, but it's bright and orange. So I love his work. Maybe one day I'll get to meet him, maybe do something together. It would be awesome with his relationship with you. You know, you touched on another thing, and that was just, you know, women that are succeeding. And I love the movement of women finding success, especially in their own businesses, especially post what, you know, I'm going to call post-COVID. More women are finding ways to bring money back to the household, whether they learn that through COVID or, you know, challenging times, or trying to, you know, bring some relief to the household, whatever that looks like. I know my wife has been crushing it the last 6 months. I'm literally looking at her going, oh, I'm so retiring. I'm going to be the stay-at-home dad. You know, it's like, even yesterday I was going through my Facebook feed, and she had made a beautiful post about, you know, working out hard. And I started reading the comments. I'm like, Sam, have you even read the comments on here? Like, people are asking you for help and, you know, want you to do their marketing. She's like, no, I had no idea. I'm like, Jesus, man, you better get after this. And, you know, I see that in you, Rachel, and what you're doing with your business. And I knew Riley Kuntz was on here earlier. She's out grinding, you know, meeting people all over the place, trying to grow her business. I just think it's fascinating and fun to watch how women are starting to take leadership roles. And it's, you know, it's not that I want to sit back and get a free ride, but where that comes from with me, and I don't think I put this in my book, but when I was at Kettle One as the vice president, there was a woman that I wanted to hire in an executive role. And this is no dig on that company and how they ran things. You know, it's a European company, over 300 years old, very traditional market, you know, had the thick executive carpet and suit and tie every day. It took me a year to hire a female executive to work for me. And the discussions that we had and about the abilities and this and that, and I don't know if it was just a tactic to save money by not having to hire a person or what that looked like. And it wasn't necessarily, you know, they were against women, right? I don't want to give that impression either, but in a traditional model, women typically didn't fill the executive role in the spirits company, you know, in the spirits world, right? This is a long time ago. And now to see you as an owner of your whiskey brand, right? And I finally got to hire that person. And by the way, she turned out to be one of the top salespeople in the company and just crushed it. She wound up running the state of Nevada for us. And now she's got great success back on the East Coast. But I think that that's where I'm stimulated by seeing women succeed and do well, because I know the struggles firsthand that they had to go through to get there, you know?
Yeah, well, I love what Samantha's doing, by the way, to that point. I mean, Jim's wife, Samantha, she's absolutely found her niche. I mean, I am blown away by the work that she's doing. And, you know, I think that's amazing. And then to the women's in alcohol spirits, yeah, I mean, it's been an industry traditionally run by men that's still a lot of men. And, you know, when I first started getting into the spirits business, I really wanted to architect a team of all women to bring this Lynx bourbon to life. And yeah, I had to really hunt them down and find them, you know, and there's not a lot of them, but they've been great and nice and, you know, welcoming, which has been wonderful. By the way, Sunday brunch, we have all women on our team. Like I've tried, like I'm like the opposite. I've tried to hire some men to work for Sunday brunch, and like I don't know why. Like it just always ends up being all ladies. So I don't know.
I guess my application keeps getting lost. I don't know what's happening there. That's why I jumped on this call. I was hoping that maybe I can get an inside move there, you know? Well,
I was at Chapman University for their meet the candidates last week, and it just, even then it was like I probably met with 50 students, men and women, and like all the women were the ones that gravitated towards marketing. So I don't know, we'll see. Well, I guess it continues.
To be fair, and especially going back to the alcohol industry, women have better palates and they have more patience. They're more meticulous in recipes and how to sell, building relationships. So it's kind of a natural fit for women to be there. And I think that carries into other arenas like marketing. You know, you've got a better eye for detail. Men just like to plow through stuff. And, you know, that's what's great. It makes us different, right? We all have differences. And
together, so that's good.
Yeah.
I know. And, you know, that I think that's the point, is that everybody has their talents and their gifts. And how can they complement each other to work together to build better businesses, to, you know, to achieve better things and to leave a better legacy behind. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hey, Rachel, I caught you while I was in my workout, so I'm going to have to wrap up in a minute. But for anybody that's joining or listening, we have launched on a new platform, high-tech platform called Jadari. It's a lot like our own private network, similar to a combination of Facebook and basically a website, really, with all the tools, bells and whistles. But we're doing a join free for a month, and then if it works out for you, stay on, and it's a moderate fee to be in there. And if you're looking to be in business or expand your entrepreneurial, you know, endeavors, we're here to help. And you have access to Rachel, myself, our other partner, Rod Kuntz, all entrepreneurs, ex-CEOs, VPs, etc. By the way, people are crazy if they don't join just for your marketing ability, Rachel. I know you've given out some incredible advice. Sam's like, I'm going to call Rachel again. I'm like, yeah, go right ahead. She's using her tools this morning, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so she's got a client that has been dying to have the blue check. And you sent out a tool yesterday for
Samantha, but I didn't give it to everybody else yet.
Yeah.
Next week on the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate, on the call Monday night, I'm going to share with everybody this tool.
Yeah.
Keep going. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's just the value that you're offering, you know, as a marketing expert within our network. So, you know, yeah, Sam got an early preview of it. And so she reached out to her client, and he's like, oh my God. And she's like, is that good or bad? And he's like, I would die if you're able to help me with that. And by the way, this company has every right to have the blue check, you know? And as we know, that really shows that you're a valid company with some PR and some, you know, real evidence that you're valid. And so this company would do well to have that. It's not an ego stroke for them. It's more about exposure and the doors that are unlocked because of that. So that's massive.
And you can apply like through Instagram, like to get verified, right? Every 30 days, but they don't tell you like really what are the qualifications. And that's the expertise. That's the secret sauce that we know as an agency that people who are just kind of, otherwise you're just shooting in the dark. You're like, I don't know, like maybe I'm good enough, maybe I'm not. Well, there actually is a recipe for success on this. So, and we charge clients a lot, but for anyone in the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate, we're going to give that as an added value, spirit of giving.
Well, I had a gentleman by the name of JJ. He's a huge social media influencer. I think he's got 1 million followers. He's on my podcast, and that's one of the services he offers. But I think he's like 10 grand a month, So you could either join him for 10 grand a month, or you can come over to us for $100 and get the same content. So thanks for that. And I just wanted to mention, that we are doing a first month free right now because of our launch with the Jadari platform and this new way that we're doing things. So it's worth checking out. So anyway, thanks for doing a live call this morning. I'm excited.
This was great. Yeah. I mean, I think people like this. We can make this a reoccurring thing. Be happy to do it.
Well, I think the theme here, besides tell a little bit about your story, is just the nuggets for entrepreneurs. If they want to get a little something, if you see us pop up live, we'll probably give you a little something as it relates to being an entrepreneur. So, all right, well, part of being an entrepreneur is being healthy and strong and fit. So I'm going to get back to my workout routine so that I can get my day going. Yes, it's 8:45 in Montana now, so a little bit late for me. But anyways, good to see you, Rachel. Have a great St. Patty's Day.
All right, you too. Bye.